showed up and showed out. 36-19. The Jaguars dominated, man. Domination. All three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. Never were down in this contest. Sloppy weather, muddy football, a few drops, a few miscommunications, a few bad plays here and there. But man, the Jaguars never let up, and it never got the sense that they were going to lose this game because, like I said, they dominated from beginning to end. Welcome back to the Chill Takes podcast. I'm your host, Darian. Last pod, I talked about how this was the bigger game in Jags history. That's what the message around the franchise was. That was the message around the facility. That was what Tony Pacelli, Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, the players, that is what they were speaking on. A lot of us fans and people outside of the organization were saying, well, there's been bigger games, right? We have playoff games. We've had bigger regular season, so on and so forth. But it doesn't matter what we as fans think. It matters what's being thought in that locker room, in that building. Whatever juju they are preaching in that facility, it is working. It is working, man. I mean, anytime you have a football team that one goes on a strong winning streak to close out a season, right? And the season's not over yet, by no means. There's still plenty of football left. There's 4 more weeks left to the season. But anytime you find your stride towards the tail end of a year, and when you watch said team play football and they're dominating in all three phases, regardless of who their opponent is, it is a tell sign of how good that team really is. The Jaguars now currently sit with 9-4 record in third place in the AFC playoff picture, first place in the AFC South divisional race. Jets, Broncos, Colts, and Titans up next. In this matchup against the Colts, like I said, domination. Unfortunate injuries happen. Daniel Jones went down, but don't let the media tell you no other different, man. This game was going to be belt. The sense of urgency, the attitude, how they responded after the turnovers. Yeah, the Colts went down the field and got a touchdown after their pick to Devin Lloyd. Shout out to All-Pro Devin Lloyd, by the way. Hopefully he gets that honor this year. But we went back and scored as well, 14-7 before DJ went down. It wasn't going to make a difference, man. They were going to get that belt regardless of whoever quarterback was trotting out there today. Riley Leonard stepped in. He wasn't terrible, but there was an obvious shift in their play. Because I thought DJ played okay. He had some big time. He had some good throws, a good drive before he went down. But shout out to T-Wig. I listened to his podcast earlier this evening. And he spoke about how although DJ didn't look bad per se outside of that interception he threw, the pressure was enough to get him off his footing, right? Off his plate. I'm sorry, I said platter, like it's food or something. Off his, how he intended to play this game, right? He had a rushing stat at one point, right? They said in that Texas matchup, he rushed for no yards. Daniel Jones is a mobile quarterback that likes to get going and throw on the run and so forth. That's when he's at his best. And when he had to run and break loose for a minimal yard gain today, I was like, oh, okay, he definitely looks gimpy. But the fact that the Jaguars created enough pressure to knock him off his pivot, an unfortunate injury happened, that's just the way of the game, right? And the Jaguars didn't soap around. Of course, they said their prayers for DJ, but a game had to be won, and that's exactly what they did. The backup came in, and they treated him like a backup. And you can tell the energy had been sucked away from this Colts team, regardless of. I think that the momentum was never on their side, right? But I think the injury definitely put a huge knife in their chest. We just kept on stabbing, twisting the knife and making it worse. Credit to us, though. Big credit to us. I thought defense, hats off to them, and they played an excellent game today. JT, the Jaguars having the number one rushing defense in football is no fluke. Then they're only allowing 84 yards per contest. It's no fluke, man. And that is what I love most about this defense. Takeaways are going to be there. I think they're still amongst the league's best in takeaways, probably top 5, top 6, so on and so forth. But it's the fact that we are stopping the run for a defense that used to get gashed post-2017 defense. I mean, the passing attack I'm sorry, the pass defense has always been up and down here post 2017, but that rush defense was miserable to watch. Miserable to watch. It's a very annoying thing to just watch an opposing team just gash your defense. That means you're soft. And even though I do believe there are some replaceable pieces up front, especially in our interior defensive line, what Anthony Campanelli is doing from a scheme standpoint is thriving. And JT had one of his worst games today. 74 yards on 21 carries, averaging 3.5 yards a pop, one touchdown. And he had to work for that touchdown. He had to work for every single yard. His longest run today was 14 yards. That's going to pay off in the playoffs, man. I'm not going to even say God, Lord willing, whatever like that. We're going to make it. I believe we're going to make it. We're sitting at 9 wins. I think you just need at least one more win to get in. One more. We'll talk more about that later in the week when I do a preview pod for the Jets matchup. But yeah, man, I mean, we're here. Defensively, I love what I saw today. On offense, a couple podcasts ago, man, I said I just wanted my quarterback to hit layups. I just wanted my quarterback to hit the layups. I wanted Trevor to just hit layups, hit his free throws, take the easy things, make the easy assist. You got a man cutting wide open to the basket, feed him. All right, you ain't got to do too much. Generational talks are out the window. We don't want you to be generational. I mean, it's long past that now. Can you just do the simple things? And that is exactly what he's done these last 4 weeks. Pretty much post third interception versus the Cardinals. He's been playing excellent football, man. I cannot lie to you. He's been playing great football. He's been playing great football. And I'm proud to watch this, man. I mean, some of the throws he made today were unbelievable. I thought his touchdown pass to Jacoby Myers was amazing. He had the layer to throw over the linebacker. Beautiful throw. His deep ball connection to BTJ was alive and thriving today. And also his rollout to the left side while having the safety blitz or corner blitz, however Cam Bynum's playing in that scheme on that call. Rolling out to your left side on the run in the pouring rain and threw a dart to Tim Patrick. And shout out to Tim Patrick today. He is definitely coming along really nicely in this offense, and it's nice to watch. No Parker Washington, but we saw guys step up. And I think having the comfortability of Tim Patrick continue to thrive in this offense is going to pay off come playoff time. 6'6" receiver that can play big, and he is starting to find that consistency. He had some drops today. I thought he could have caught a touchdown pass when they kind of had this play booting out to the right side, and they threw back cross body, and it was a great play design. 1-on-1, 6'6" receiver on a 5'9" corner. You expect your guy to come down with it. He dropped it. I think it's more so because of the rain. But he did answer on that same drive with a touchdown before halftime. BTJ, thank you for coming back. Where have you been? I'm not sure, but thank you. Today you played magnificent. I see the role you're playing now. Just stay vertical. All right? Stay vertical. You don't have to be our possession guy. We got Jacoby Myers for that. We got Myers for that, man. I thought he played excellent. I thought Myers, even though he had, I think his less yardage since taking over or since being traded over here from Las Vegas to Jacksonville, he had his less yards today as a starter for this team, but his impact was felt, caught a touchdown, and had some big catches when we needed him outside of that one drop he had. But that's okay because it's raining, and Tim Patrick answered right the following play. I thought Brenton Strange was a magnificent today from a run blocking, getting guys extra yardage, just pushing the pile, and also making some much needed safety blanket grabs. I thought the offensive line played great today. You didn't hear much about the Colts edge rushers today at all. Latu has been pretty solid this year in year 2, but you didn't hear much about them. Granted, no DeForest Buckner up front, but we just played our brand of football and we took care of whoever was in front of us. All right, we all know the Colts have injuries, significant injuries. So they had injuries coming into this game, and people still picked them to win. It is what it is. We took care of business. So I love what I saw. The streak continues. By the way, we haven't lost to the Colts in Jacksonville since I was 16 years old. I'm 27 now. So that lets you know how potent this thing has been. Love to see it. I think we're going to piece them together later on this year as well in a few weeks. And we'll talk more about that as the days come. But I'm just excited about this team right now. I'm excited about the direction of this franchise. I think Liam Cohen definitely deserves his Coach of the Year nominations. He's been magnificent this year. I think if they end up having, I personally believe if they grab the third seed and win the AFC South, it should either be him or Mike Vrabel for this award. I think Sean McVay, of course, he's a hell of a coach, but we all knew the Rams were going to be this good. I think Ben Johnson definitely should get the award as well, but they're more than likely going to be the seventh seed. And I think Mike Vrabel did a really good job of taking over a team that was picking top 3 in the draft, and they had a lot of holes to fill this offseason. And many of those didn't have them getting to the playoffs. But the same thing can be said about this Jaguars team, even though we had more talent on paper in a sense. This team won 4 games last year. I mean, they were only projected to win over under 6 this year, if that. With so much talk about the quarterback being a bust, about certain players on this team being overpaid. This team has adopted a beautiful mindset. It's the underdog mentality, man. They love it. Liam preaches it. No one believes in you. It's not even like what they say, rat poison. It's the truth. No one believes in the Jags team, man. I'm hearing all these talks about how the AFC playoff picture is going. You hear it too for you fans out there listening, and thank y'all for tapping in, by the way. But you hear all the talks about what's going on in the AFC, how the Patriots have taken the league by storm and going 11-2. And granted, they have easier schedule, but nevertheless, though, they've been taking care of business placed in front of them. The Broncos have been a great story this year. A second seed, got another win on the road. Bo Nix, Sean Payton, their magnificent defense, number 1 defense in football, number 2, however you want to slice it. You had Josh Allen in the frozen tundra, the Winter Soldier playing in the snow, taking down a feisty Bengals team. You hear about the Texans right now, right? Marching back from in the hunt to now the 7th seed after having a big win of the Chiefs. I mean, you were hearing Chiefs talk still. You were hearing Ravens talk. You were hearing chart. You were hearing everyone but the damn Jaguars. Whereas the Jaguars are currently 9-4, tied for the 3rd best record in the AFC playoff picture right now, and one of the better teams in the league. You still hear you see these power rankings coming to this game where the Jaguars were like ranked 16, 17, Colts ahead of them, Texans ahead of them, Chiefs ahead of them. Teams we beaten, Niners ahead of them. Granted, I'm not here to say that the Jaguars are a top 5 team in football, but I think if you're not the Rams, if you're not the Seahawks, if you're not the Eagles, maybe the Packers, if you're not any of those teams on the AFC and NFC side, and with all due respect to the Patriots and Broncos for being ahead of us from record standpoint, if you're not any of those 6 teams I named, you should not. It should not be just a sure thing. The Jaguars are behind those teams, behind those AFC teams that's ahead of them right now in these rankings. It's embarrassing, but at the same time, I love the mentality that is pushing on us. They'll say, "Okay, cool. You want to keep doubting us? All right." And the thing about it is, for those out there doubting and just putting the Jaguars on the back burner saying you don't trust them, how can you not trust the team? I'm looking at the teams they faced this year. The teams they've beaten this year have all had over 500 records. Aside from the Chiefs right now, who currently sit at 6-7, but we all know the Chiefs are a respected 6-win team right now. They're the Panthers are 7-6. The Texans are 7. They're now 8-5. The Niners are 9-4. The Chargers are 8-4. The Colts are 8-5. You have wins all over those teams, and a lot of those games were in dominant fashion. But it's okay though. It is perfectly fine. Let's continue to have that underdog mentality. Keep that chip on our shoulder. I'm not going to sit up here and say we're going to go to the Super Bowl. I won't lie to you out there like that. I think we still have some holes in some key areas that could come back to bite us in the butt come playoff time. But I'm here to say I think they have a great shot to get to the conference championship. And like I said, I'll talk about that further down the line. But I'm looking at this team, man. I'm looking at the people we have, the confidence we're playing with, the guys that's just hooping on the field, man. It's not no fluke, bro. It's not a fluke right now. It's not a fluke. It's not a fluke. Those guys are punching players mentally in the mouth. Not the mouth with an F at the end. Real stuff, man. I'm just keeping it a buck, man. When you watch the Jaguars team, bro, like it's gritty. It's out the mud. I'm watching LaQuint Allen putting people on their asses. I'm watching LaQuint Allen putting people on their asses. Brent Strange putting people on their asses. This ain't the Jaguars team from last year, man. Whatever the mentality has been preached in that room, it is working. And granted, I a few podcasts ago I said, man, I was questioning a lot of things on this team from a personnel standpoint, and now I'm realizing, man, they got some dogs, man, dogs. They're not household names. They're just a gritty team. It reminds me. It really reminds me, funny enough, of the Bills teams that were getting to the conference championship and losing to the Chiefs. That's what they remind me of. Nothing crazy. There's a lot of good guys, a lot of dogs, a lot of players that are willing to go there. You know, you got your great value, Josh Allen. You got your receivers. Maybe no Stephon Diggs on his roster, but you got some guys that can step up. Myers, arguably at wide receiver one right now, but BTJ had a game today. Parker Washington. The offensive line is playing great football, man. The offensive line has been really solid all year, outside of a few games, right? The quarterback is not turning the ball over. He's making big time throws, playing smart, being decisive, running when needed to. The defense, the pass rush is still not how I wanted to be, but they're containing everything, keeping everything in front of them, playing bend don't break defense, and they are turning the ball over. And one of the things I love this team about so far, man, and I think this is going to continue to be this team going forward. And what I highlighted during the offseason on the Anthony Campanelli hire is that if you look at his teams, rather if he was a linebackers coach in Miami or in Green Bay, he comes from the Vic Fangio philosophy tree, the Jeff Hafley philosophy tree, where they thrive off turnovers. The Packers defense was, I wouldn't say they were bad last year, but they were average on paper, right? But they thrived off turnovers. Xavier McKinney was a dog for them last year from a turnover standpoint. And when they were able to turn the ball over, it put their offense in field position to score, and they did it every time. That's exactly what you're seeing from this Jaguars team. They emphasize on creating turnovers. And once they do, they are going to score at least 8 times out of 10. I want to see the stat line for that. What are the percentages of the Jaguars scoring after they create the turnovers? Right, if it's touchdowns or field goals, I can just pinpoint every single turnover we got so far this year. At least majority of them have led to a touchdown. The pick six against the Chiefs, the picks against Niners. You know what I'm saying? ETN housing those touchdowns. I feel like every time we've been able to, even in the Raiders match when Monteric Brown caught that interception when we needed it badly, they scored to kickstart that fourth quarter surge. You know, we forced 3 turnovers a day, 2 picks, and a fumble. And that forced fumble and that pick to begin, that Devin Lloyd pick, my goodness, man. I damn near jumped off my apartment balcony. First possession of the game, defensively. First play of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Picked off, lurker. Way to sit down and hide and make yourself available right when he let go of the football. All pro, man. All pro. I mean, that's just excellent football, man. The forced fumble, I think it might have been Eric Murray that caused it. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far, man, and it's really fun right now. It's fun. It's fun. I love the attitude. The players believe this doesn't feel like Doug Peterson's success story when they were doing an uphill climb in 2022 when everything had to go right for them to win. Granted, that was a phenomenal thing to witness, but in those games, they were 4-8 at one point during that year, 4-7 after getting belt the ass against the Lions, and they made that surge. This team is doing what the 2023 season team should have done, but they are finishing. They're finishing the job they started. It's not over yet by no stretch of the means, but it is looking very, very good. And for you Jaguar fans out there listening, embrace that underdog, man. This is what you want. You don't want to be the one being hunted. You want to do the hunting. This team, for some odd reason, when they are being hunted, they shell up. We've seen it in years past. But as the hunter, they thrive off of it, man. They thrive on it. They thrive on it. That has been a message from James Gladstone and this front office. Let's go hunt. Let's go hunt. The hunt, all these videos we've seen, let's go hunt. That's the Jaguars, what we should do. Jaguars, prowl, and hunt. Like I said, man, this was a very fun win today. Very fun game. If the weather was a lot better than what we saw today on TV, I would have been there myself, man. I know it would have been way more packed out than it already was. That Jets game is going to be loud and rocking, man. I call it a trap game, and I'll explain it later on this week because it cannot slip up into a team that's just either they're ready for Cancun or they're ready to spoil some seasons. This Jets team is very capable of that. I will not lie to you, even though they have a lot of guys down due to trading and whatnot, but still, you don't want to take that team lightly because they damn near popped the Ravens a few weeks ago. But then again, the Ravens may not be a good team. So I want to talk about one thing before I end this podcast about what's going on in the AFC. I already kind of sprinkled that in a little bit. But now the Texans winning tonight, unfortunately, they now have the 7th seed in the AFC playoff picture. And from my knowledge and what I've been reading is that if they win out, we win out. They have the tiebreaker over us, and that means they will jump to 3, whereas we drop to 6. That'd be so unfortunate, man. Man, that just sucks. I don't know how that works out, but I really do want to host a playoff game at least. But man, the Texans are playing good football, and it's very funny because we should have put the nail in their coffin weeks ago, and we kind of kicked it. I mean, Liam Cohen talked about it earlier in his presser that the Texans loss was a blessing for this team. It was a blessing for the Jaguars, and of course, it was a blessing for the Texans. It gave them life, and it made us wake the fuck up. Unfortunate that it had to come down to that, but that's just the reality of how things are in this league, right? But since then, they're the 2 hottest teams in the AFC, in my opinion. And honestly, I think they're hotter than both granted, the Patriots on the 11-game winning streak. Outside of the Patriots and the Broncos, with all due respect, I think the Texans or the Jaguars are the 2 most dangerous teams in the AFC playoff picture right now. And it sucks that they're going to have to face each other more than likely round 1 because I think if they had different matchups, I think they could very well could meet up in the second round if they weren't facing one another in the first round because they're hot right now, man. They're very hot right now. Maybe not the second round, but maybe the conference championship, so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying. But anyways, the Texans won today. They're now the 7th seed. The Chiefs they're in the hunt, man. They're 6-7, but they're looking like they're gonna miss the playoffs this year. And it's very crazy because no one had to own the bingo card. Do we have them repeating as champions? But no champion. I mean, no playoffs is pretty crazy, man. But when you're on the tail end of a dynasty and you fail to make significant moves, this is what happens, man. They got a lot of old guys on their roster. They will have to flip those guys and probably force some hands on retirement this offseason. Maybe have that conversation with Andy Reid, not fire him, but say, hey, man, let's bring in some fresher faces, better voices that can really implement better scheme. And as a general manager, Brett Veach, you got to do a better job of surrounding his team with talent, in my opinion, as well. The Bills got a big win on the road at home today. I thought Josh Allen delivered an MVP type performance. He won't win it, of course, but that was a big game by him. The Bengals are a feisty team, man. I think they're done from a playoff standpoint. They're not mathematically eliminated now, but losing today definitely hurt their chances. But they do still play the Ravens and Steelers again, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. Maybe they're not out of it. They have to win the division, but we'll see. What else happened of significance? The Titans won today. The Titans lost their chance at the first overall pick. Now it goes to the Giants now. I thought that was a very interesting game from a play calling standpoint of Kevin Stefanski just blowing the opportunity of winning the ball game after Shador put up an amazing performance. But hey, that's what bad teams do, right? Bad coaches are coaches that know they're on the way out, But I'm trying to think of anything else, man, from an AFC standpoint. I'm just really stuck on that damn Texans win today, man. I thought they were going to lose, but unfortunately, they did not. Steelers won today as well, so they now have a firmer control somewhat of the 4th seed, the AFC North division. And Mike Tomlin, when he's back against the wall, when all things seem to be crumbling down, the kiss of death. That's what he's good for, right? But anyways, man, hats off to the Jags. Hats off to the damn Jags, man. And embrace the underdog mentality. That is my message to the Jaguar fans out there. Don't complain this week. Don't go on 1010XL crying on the show. saying that, oh, the national media isn't giving no love to us. Embrace it. Embrace it. Embrace it. You don't want to be loved right now. You want to be the afterthought. So you look up come end of January, or middle of January, we sitting with a chance to potentially go to a championship game, Super Bowl game, maybe too. Who knows? But anyways, man, Duval County, it's beautiful. It's beautiful around town when the Jaguars are winning. It's beautiful. It feels better. Crime rate's down. The murder rate's down. You go to your local Publix, everyone's just a little more proud to be from the city, man. That's what football does to a community, I guess, right? But anyways, thank you for tapping in. I'll be back later this week to drop a preview for the Jets game and talk more NFL teams around the league. But also, most importantly, thank y'all for subscribing to the podcast, man. We're kind of getting up there out of nowhere, right? Almost at 400 subs. So that's big time. If you made it this far, please comment down below your thoughts on this game, your thoughts on the AFC playoff picture, and if you're okay with embracing the underdog mentality, because I am. I don't want to be loved right now. Sometimes you just don't want to be loved. I want to earn it. I want to earn it. That's what the Jags are doing, man. They earning it. Even though they're not being talked about, you got to earn it in this league. And it's okay because while you're earning it, you're going to knock off the media darlings and the media favorites. So until next time, that is a wrap.